Hi guys, this is Max and welcome back to Max Reacts. Thank you for tuning in once again. This is a brand new series on the channel after doing some reaction videos that I will obviously continue doing throughout the time. I'm launching a new series which is called Ranking The Discography, where I will take bands I love and rank their records from the one I like the less and to my favorite one. To start this series, I wanted to speak about it I love a lot. You probably know it because I reacted to two songs by their lead singer, Hayley Williams, on their new project called Better for Armor. And yeah, I was like, okay, this is probably the best band to start this new series on my channel. So I was like, okay, let's get into it. The way it will shape is that I will also go sing of Paramore. There are 5 records, so I'm going to go to 5, which is the album I like the less, to number 1 is my favorite album, and I will give you my opinion about it, and I will tell you for every album my favorite song and like talk a bit about it around that. But of course, like everybody, like every time I'm doing a video, I'm going to start with a bit of a story, not about the band, but the band and myself. My first time hearing Paramore was in 2007, and it was before the release of Riot, because Paramore was announced to be the opening band for the first night of Evanescence in Paris at a venue called the Zenith. Unfortunately, I didn't went to this show because I didn't live in Paris at the time. So my parents got me the show in a city called Nantes, which had a different opener. So yeah, at the time I was on the forum full of French fans, say guys, and we just kind of listened to the bands opening for Evanescence, which was like in the US or in Europe, depends. And I stumbled across Paramore, and what can I tell you? Outside that, I fell in love with them at the moment. And since then, since 2007, so it's been 13 years. Well, I've been a massive fan. I have 2 Paramore tattoos. I have on my forearm lyrics from my favorite song. I won't tell you right now. I'll do it in the video later on, and I've got obviously the logo. Okay. So yeah, so that's it for this first part. I'm going now to talk about the album. Number 5, we have All We Know Is Falling. All We Know Is Falling is the first album Paramore put out. It was in 2005. This is a very good album. Like, honestly, I don't hate any of the album. I probably only dislike 2 songs in the discography. So this is a very good album, but this is the first one, and it shows. To give you the things I like about this album, I'd say it's full of bangers. First of all, we can say the songs like Pressure. Pressure is a massive hit. I like a lot the song Brighter is one of my... Brighter is probably my favorite song on the album. It has everything I like about Paramore, from Hayley's vocal range to the drumming. Like, can you imagine that Zach was a teenager at the time, and he is such a good drummer. He can write such good drums. It's like, for a young kid, it's amazing at this time. And the guitar. The thing I like the most about Paramore, or well, the early Paramore, is the guitar work. Josh has done a wonderful job, and that's, in my opinion, the way that Paramore is distancing themselves from every other pop rock artist. They are poppy in a way, but they are definitely so much rock. In a sense, and All We Know Is Falling is that this is a pop rock album. But if I can like get a knock or tell you the one thing I maybe dislike the most about this album, it's probably the production, and it doesn't age well. Like, I've listened to the discography like front to back to make this video, and the production is awful. I don't know what they did, what they did with that, but that's not a good production, and it shows, and like it doesn't help the songs get a bit better. But this is a good album. This is a first album, and it paved the way for Riot, obviously, and it paved the way for everything Paramore related. So, I watched a lot of Paramore videos at the time, and seeing those guys being teenagers from high school, mind you, or those things from 2005. I was 13 at the time, and they were not that older than me, to be honest. So yeah, like watching those videos make me want to go back in time, travel to Nashville, Tennessee, and witness Paramore in 05 and 06. So 5th place is for Earnest Funny. Number 4, it's Paramore. It's the self-titled from 2013. Yeah, this is not my favorite album. They have very good songs in it. My favorite song on the album is definitely Incubators. It's such a banger. It is so much more in that almost punk rock vibe that I love. It's fast, it's short, it's full of energy, and like I haven't heard the song live, so it's kind of a bummer, to be honest. But hey, that's life, right? Yeah. One knock is that Now is an awful single. This is an okay song, and I liked it a lot at the time because I'm such a fan boy. But it's such a weird single. Like, if you compare to the singles on Brand New Eyes or on After Laughter and obviously Riot, they had such powerful songs to promote and sell the album first. And for the self-title, we have this song, this song Now, and it's not that good. There is good songs on the album, obviously, but they have a tendency to do those very soft songs, and on the self-title, the song is called Hate to See Heartbreak, and I hate this song. I dislike this song so much. I can't wait for them to get rid of it live. It's not good. Same thing with, I will talk about it later on, but with the only exception on Brand New Eyes, it's such a very good song. I hate when Paramore does this kind of, I don't know, cheap acoustic guitar and a vocal. I get why they're doing that, but that's not my cup of tea. But one thing I have to about And number 3 is Riot. Yes, the most successful album of Paramore. Is only 3 on my ranking, and I will probably get some hate about it, and some people don't understand why. This is a very good album. This is, well, no, this is not the first album I listened to, because I listened to All Knows Fine, because when at the time I discovered Paramore, they only had All Knows Fine, and if my memory is correct, it has the first single of Riot. So this is a very good album, but I think I listened to it way too much. and it gets exhausting, frankly, sometimes. So because it was put out in 2007. I was 15. It was between my last year in middle school and my first year in high school, so I listened to it a lot. And then a year later, in 2008, there is the final Riot, and I listened to it extensively, to be honest. And yeah, so Red Eyes as my favorite song all time about Paramore. This song from this time, called Let the Flames Begin, one of the best songs ever written. But the funny thing is, I like the studio version, but I'm never listening to it ever again, since they have so much good live version of it. So obviously the one on the final Riot is amazing, but my favorite version of this is probably the one they did at the BBC Radio Weekend. Guys, not one but two throw is heaven. It's heaven to me. So yeah, a very good album, but it is at the third place because I've listened to it way too much. And when I want to put out a Paramore album, this is not the first one I'm getting into. It doesn't mean it's a bad album. I like every song on it. Every song is just perfect for what it is as a second album, as a sophomore album for people who are way younger, much younger than a lot of bands do when they release their second album at the time. And this is the album that put them on the map. This is the album who made what is Paramore now, meaning a successful band who draws huge crowds all over the world and is able to put out album on a huge label. So I'm grateful for Riot, but the album is only third on my list. Number two is After Laughter. Yes, my second favorite album of Paramore is their latest, called After Laughter, released in 2017. I was very nervous about the album leading up to it. I wasn't sure what the band what the vision of the band would be after a self-title. And in the first 3 seconds of Our Times, I was like, okay, that's it, another banger. This is such a good record, front to back. It's very different from everything they've done before, and that's why I love Paramore. No album is the same. All We Know Is Fighting, Riot is different than All We Know Is Fighting. Brain Wise is very different from Riot. Self-titled is very different from the previous one, and After Laughter is on another planet, to be honest. Much more popular, much more in a 80s vibe, and to be honest, I don't like the 80s at all on a cultural standpoint. But this is very well done, and it has everything I want in a Paramore album. My favorite song is Idol Worship. I'd say today Idol Worship is probably my second favorite Paramore song after Let the Flames Begin. It has everything. Outside of that, my favorite songs are probably Cold in the Middle, loved it, and Rose Colored Boy. And to give you a fourth, because I love this album so fucking much, I would have to say Pool. Pool is a very good song. I love the production on this album. It is so much well done. So like I said, there has a 80s vibe mixed with the 2017 vibe. It's a very good production. The album has been written entirely by Haley and Taylor, and they do such a wonderful job together. Plus, it's the album of the return of Zach Farrow. I wasn't expecting that news when it broke up, but I was so happy because I think everything who went bad with Zach was mostly because of his brother leaving the band, and I'm sure he was like, well, if my brother's leaving, I have to leave. And I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure he didn't add any grudges, or intended, with Haley or the rest of the band when you left. It was more a matter of, okay, I'm following my brother. I can be wrong about it, to be honest, but that's my 2 cents on the story. So yeah, After is very good. I loved seeing them 2 times. So I saw them in June 2017. They played Le Grand in Paris, and in 2018 they played the infamous l'Olympia. And seeing Paramore at l'Olympia was such a dream come true. This is such a cool venue for them. It has this vibe. Like if you are not from France and you've never been to l'Olympia, you have to go there like once in your lifetime. Like for me as a French person, there are a few venues around the world that I want to go. The first one is the Royal Albert Hall in London. This is a dream. And number 2 is Red Rocks in the US. And I think l'Olympia is on the same level on those venues. So yeah, be sure to check l'Olympia if you are coming to Paris and see if there is a band or an artist you want to see. Go for it. Number one on my list is Brand New Eyes, released in 2009. Sorry, yeah, this is my favorite album about Paramore. Why? I truly don't know. Well, I have an idea. So the album came out when I was between like in France. In France, it's between la première, la terminale. So it's between junior year and senior year in high school. It was not the very best time in my life on a relationship standpoint, and this album helped me get through a lot. But this is my favorite album, but it has also my least favorite song ever written by Paramore, which is the only exception. I hate this song because it was my ringtone for a full year. And let me tell you, if you are being awake for a whole year with these guitar riffs, you will hate it. So my hint for today is do not put a song you love as your ringtone, because you will fucking hate it in a matter of weeks or months. Outside of that, Brand New Eyes is, for me, Paramore at its best as musicians. I know it wasn't the case as human beings because it was very, very dark times for the band in general. This is what obviously led up to Josh and Zach leaving the band or them being fired. I don't give a shit, to be honest. So it was a dark place, and since I think I connected to the album and mostly the lyrics because I was in the same mood at the time. Like if you were listening to a song like What I Wanted, it's amazing. My favorite song is Looking Up. I have no explanation why Looking Up is my favorite song in the album. I don't know, I love the chorus. I just want to shake my booty and cry at the same time, and the guitar riffs are mind-blowing. So yeah, this is a very, very good album front to back. This is my favorite album of all time. This is probably in my top 5 records of all time, to be honest. And I love this album. And I'm gutted that I didn't have the opportunity to see the band live at the time. I know I missed shows. I was sad, but I wasn't in Paris. I wasn't 18, so it was very difficult to travel for shows. So yeah, so that's it for my top 5. This was the first episode of this new series called Ranking The Discography. Probably should be episode number 2 will be about the band Nightwish, because when I made a poll on Twitter, I asked for people to choose between Paramore and Nightwish. Paramore went in first, so obviously I have to do Nightwish second. I hope you liked what you saw. I hope it isn't too long. I'm sorry if it is. I'm sorry if my English is bad sometimes. Remember, I'm French. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you like it. Comment down below if you don't agree with me, if you agree with me. give me a top 5. Like, I need to discuss those stuff with Paramore fans. It was Max for Max React and Ranking Discography, and I'm going to say bye.